Ready, go. Yeah. Once again, I don't want to waste too much time here. People can just roll in as they please. We're gonna load up a bit of Super Metroid music here. And just get started. Where would be a good place to leave this? I guess it's fine right here for now. So. Actually, I meant to make another iteration of this, but you know what? It's fine. We'll just consider this to be the same version that I worked on previously. It won't be too big of a deal if I lose some progress today, if, you know, something crazy happens. I could swear that this editor keeps getting wider. Is it just me? Or did I previously have the chat window, like, way smaller? I don't know. Anyway, so I have a huge list of changes I want to make, but they should go by relatively quickly. Most of what I want to do involves changing text strings. But before I do that, let's go ahead and dive into the map units, because I want to just go ahead and do Chapter 10, 11, 12, get all that done out of the way. Because I have it all planned out. The real question is, did I follow any sort of... Okay, I'm not imagining things. These windows just keep getting bigger. And I can't shrink them down any further. I don't know what's causing that. Well, I apologize for obscuring the chat window, but that's just how it has to be. The first thing I have in this list is a priest, and he's way down here. Is that where I started? Why? Yeah, that's him. Alright then. We're gonna make this a double dose of sleep. Do I really want to do that, though, or do I want to have him keep the torch? Because, honestly, both of them will be pretty useful in the coming chapters. But you know what? I will give the player a second chance to acquire the sleep staff. Because it's pretty hard to come by. And I'm jumping all the way back up to 0 and 15? Why? Where even is that? This guy? Okay. Yeah, once again, we're doing a lot of gender flipping here today with the enemy units, especially on the maps heavy with mercenary units. So there's a mercenary at 1313. We're gonna give this one a ruby sword and change to the female mercenary. There we go. There's another archer at 14 and 3. Where is that? 14-3. Okay, it's this one. And then a mercenary at 6 and 11. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that thing that I did before, where I just take a blank sticky note and use it to obscure the list that I'm working on in lieu of a highlighter tool. I guess I could take an actual highlighter and just mark on my screen. Alright, so 611, you're going to change. Probably this one too. No. 213, you're going to change. 5 and 12, I wanted to give you a heavier weapon. Man, even this, like, sticky note idea is not perfect because I have to click twice. First, to bring the window into focus, and second, to drag it. So it's just really inefficient. By the way, what's the volume level on SPC 700 right now? I'll bump it up just a little bit. Metroid music tends to be pretty quiet on the whole. Now I've got mages in my sights. One at 6 and 13. It's gonna get Thunder, and this one here is going to change. Moving on to 7 and 15, wherever that is, that'd be you. You're going to get a heavier weapon. Honestly, I wonder if it would be better for me to just improvise these changes, so that I don't have to worry about consulting a list. Well, whatever. You two down here, you will also change. 1117, wait, that's not you. 1117, that's you. 14 and 6, I wanted to give that unit a ruby sword. 14 and 6, where is that? I didn't mean to write 16, did I? Where is that? Oh, there you are. Yeah, I kind of wanted to just have a whole cluster of units up here that use gem weapons. I think? Well, we'll figure it out. 1029, there's an archer somewhere. That'd be you. You will change. Fighter at 1128, that's probably you. Nope. 1128, that's you. You will get the Emerald Axe. There's another Myrmidon elsewhere. 1529, that's you. I'm gonna give you a better weapon. You get to be the unofficial leader of this little squad here. There's a Lance Knight somewhere. I think that's where we start poking into reinforcements. So the Lance Knight isn't going to show up until we get to this squadron right here. So this one ends at 1624. That's the one I want. I'm going to give you a Sapphire Lance, wherever that is. Since that's way down the list, I kind of have to scroll for it instead of just seeking with the up and down. There we go. Pegasus Knight. I guess I'm gonna leave the rest of this squad alone, including leaving the Ranger as he is. Pegasus Knight at 0 and 8. No, that's one of these guys up here. Yeah, you are also gonna get a Sapphire Lance. Whoa. Maybe I should write these down, because I'm having a hard time remembering where everything was. I'm just taking stabs in the dark and hoping that I'm right. There we go. 8D, that's the Sapphire Lance. Which, by the way, I need to change the name of today. We're going to shorten it, because Sapphire Lance, Bronze Sword, all those names are too long, and they cause visual problems with the text sprites, so gotta change them. Alright, that's it for this chapter. Moving on to 11. Spoilers, we got La Rochelle coming in with as an NPC. We're gonna go ahead and give her the training rod. And we'll finally have a chance to test out, assuming that I get to that chapter today, we'll finally get to test how it works. And now we gotta deal with the skeletons. They are everywhere. There's skeletons at 2 and 17, that's probably referring to these guys here. No, apparently not. Where are they? 217. Well, that should be around here. Why do I not see you? Yeah, they should be somewhere on this vertical strip here. Is it one of you? Not what... Did I write this down wrong? Oh no, it's you. Okay, yeah, you. You... Just on a lark, I decided that I wanted to give this guy the thief sword to indicate that he's, like, gonna steal all your shit. If you let him get into that room, he'll take the chest, so... Okay. Clearly that was like a little joke that I slipped in for myself. You at 2020. We're gonna give some of these skeletons poison weapons. Just to kind of make it feel more coherent. This guy joins with a Toxin Lance, so we're gonna give the other one a poison bow and a poison sword. And that's fine. And I think there's another squad of skeletons out here that's going to have the same thing going. Yeah, that guy's got a toxic lance, so... Gonna load these other dudes up with more poison weapons. It's fine to spread around more poison, now that I've changed the effect from inflict poison status to, you know, inflict after battle damage. So this makes them dangerous without being a severe nuisance. There's a Bone Walker at 18 and 12. I wanted to give him a slightly beefier weapon. So it's gonna be like way down here. Bone Walker at 116. Where could that be? I think I already got that one. Why is this, like, so far out? Did I lose track of where I was? I totally lost track of where I was. This is why the sticky note is important. Because I can't be trusted to keep track of anything. 1815, that's like down here. Gonna give you another Sapphire Lance. There we go. 2115. It's like way over here. We're gonna give him a ruby sword. Yeah, if I don't put these in, then these kinds of weapons will never show up on enemy units, so... Gotta put it all in manually. And I think I wanted to give this fella here, 1915, want to give him a short bow. Bone Walker, 317... Yeah, I wanted to give you a magic sword. It's probably not going to work out very well, but hey, at least it's more interesting than just a plain old iron sword. 510. Is that you? No. 5 and 10. That's you. Yeah, like every enemy in this corridor, this little room here, already has poison weaponry, so may as well just make it complete. It's also going to make it to where you can't just depend on Dozla to take care of everything, because he will eventually get worn down by all those poison weapons. And I think the only other change I wanted to make was to the boss. I wanted to give him a better sword. So there we go. And now for the chest contents. I only wanted to make one change, and that was to the chest with the short spear. Oh, hi there, Speak the Narrator. I didn't see you underneath that gigantic, editor window. POV, you don't use poison weapons. Well, like I said, the poison weapons have a different effect here, so they shouldn't be, too annoying to deal with. Right, so short spear, that's going to turn into an NPC-only weapon. And in its place, we're going to put the regular spear. There we go. No, wait, actually I had a completely different idea. On these, like, monster-filled maps. Right. I forgot. No, I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce the Cursed Lance item, which ought to be interesting. Honestly, I think it may be, like, underpowered, because it's about as strong as a silver weapon, and it drains your health after you use it. So I might want to make it even stronger than that, but we'll figure it out. We'll be rebalancing things as we go, probably. Alright, that's it for that chapter. Scroll up to number 12. Not a lot of changes here. I don't feel like making that many changes to the monster-filled maps, because of course, they're monsters, they already have their weapons. But I did want to give Sageman here. Seriously, this window was not this big the last time I had this editor up and running. So I don't know why this is happening. I just wanted to give Salah here. Salah? Salah? How do you guys pronounce it? I want to give him a staff to start out with. Oh, and I wanted to have him bring the only copy of that Dark Reaver tome into the game. So that's where you get it from. He'll just come with it by default. And the boss on this map, I'm going to change one of his weapons. What was it? We're gonna change that to a Sword Slayer. This will be, like, where you find it on Irika's route. And Steel Bow, we'll swap that with a Short Bow. There's gargoyles on this map. Where could they be? It's gargoyle at 14-15 that I wanted to change. Probably this guy. We'll give him another Sapphire Lance. Lots of Sapphires going around today. Bone Walker at 10 and 3. It's gonna be like right around here. Yep. Gonna give you Lance Reaver. Wherever that is. Here we go. Yeah, I wanted these guys to have like the whole gamut of Reaver weapons. So you got the boss with a Sword Slayer, then an Axe Reaver, and a Lance Reaver. Again, sorry for covering up the chat. I'll check up on you guys momentarily. Actually, you know what? If the window's going to be obscured like that, I may as well just reincorporate it into OBS. Sayla, kind of like Salem, but with an H. Alright, I kind of like that, so I think I'll say that from now on. And last change I wanted to make was one of the gargoyle reinforcements. Way up here. Yeah, you've got a short spear. I wanted to turn that into a regular spear. Okay, that's it for that chapter. Now we're going to pivot over to Ephraim's campaign and make some changes. Let's see here. I do believe I'm going to leave Dussel and his friends mostly alone, with one exception. Yeah, let's go ahead and track them down. Because there's multiple copies of these, and I want to make sure I'm editing the ones that actually have items. So that would be them. Shoot, which one of these is with the NPC army? None of them. Huh. Alright, fine. I'll just have the cursed weapon have 5 extra might over the silver lance, but less durability. Oh, you may not have noticed, but all weapons are unbreakable in this modification that I'm making. Yeah, it's designed based around what Fire Emblem Fates was doing, with unbreakable weapons that have their own benefits and drawbacks. But yeah, the Cursed Lance does have the passive effect of sapping HP after you use it. So that was introduced by the Skill Systems patch. So Skill Systems brings in a bunch of skills. Fury is one of those. That's from Fire Emblem Heroes. Boosts your stats, deals damage after combat. I attached that into the Cursed Lance, and it just works. Infinite Killing Edges, well, don't get too crazy about them, because they have a luck penalty to it, so it makes critical hits more likely for both you and your opponent. So I actually found myself not using them all that much, even though they are still fairly good. I have them about at the power level they were in, what was it, like Radiant Dawn and Fates, to where they're about on par with iron weapons, just with a really high crit chance. So I think in their current state, as I have them, they are pretty well balanced. I found myself using them every now and again, but not infinite devil axes. Well, hey, if you're that kind of guy, I'm not going to stop you. I made no changes to the devil axe, except for making it unbreakable. So, go nuts. Alright, let's see here. I wanted to make a few changes to these fellas. But let me make sure I'm not overlooking something. Because there's a lot of, like, duplicate units on this map that show up in the same spot. This is so confusing. Because not only does this map have the regular units that spawn in, but they also have the monster units that show up on skirmish maps. Okay, I think this is the point where I actually started being organized. about writing down the changes I wanted to make, so now everything is sorted from the top of the list to the bottom. So hopefully things will go smoother now. By the way, Tika Lung, thank you for joining the chat. However, we're going to be busy with this for probably another hour or so, so if you want to leave and come back later, you'll be able to see me actually playing the game. But for now, I have a laundry list of tweaks that I want to make. For instance, these fellows, I have split the Cavalier class into Sword Knights and Lance Knights, so they all have to be manually adjusted to account for the weapons that they can use. Otherwise, you'll end up with Cavaliers on the map that can't use their weapons. Infinite Berserk Staves. Okay, staves are the one exception. Again, I'm kind of just following in Fire Emblem Fates' footsteps here, but yeah. Staves are the only things that still have finite durability. Those and, you know, siege magic and ballista and all that. Long-range stuff, that's still 5 uses and it's broken. I couldn't think of a way to balance those in a way to make it fair for them to be unbreakable, so they're just unchanged. 18.2, 18.4, I think this one's fine as is. Alright, now we go down to this guy. What about Infinite Eclipse? Nope, that's still locked at 5 uses. However, I did make it more accurate, so hopefully it'll still be a little bit useful. I mean, even with the enhanced accuracy, I probably still won't see that much usage out of it. Oh god, imagine if I brought it back to what it was in the Fire Emblem 6. Where it had an accuracy of like 30 and brought HP to 1. That was a little too nutty. Right, I wanted to mix these guys up a little bit, such that one had swords and the other had lances. Man, I can already feel my voice getting a little bit sore. Sorry about that. I did just live stream yesterday. I don't do back-to-back live streams like this very often. So I have to make sure to keep myself, well, hydrated. Alright, I think now we can go down to this list here. There's a Lance Knight at 6 and 14. Where is that? Is that here? Almost. That is this one. Make you a Sword Knight, and probably give you something to replace the Javelin. What was it? Well, apparently I didn't account for that, but we'll go ahead and give him a Wind Edge as well. Boomer stamina. Certainly, if I was more practiced at this sort of thing, I probably could manage to do multiple live streams back-to-back, but... my schedule usually does not allow for consecutive streaming from day to day. 5 and 15. Which one was that? So Lance Knight at 5 and 15. Where is that? Oh no, wait. Wait. What is going on? What am I looking at? Yeah, which Cavaliers are these that I wrote down? 6 and 14. Right, I did you. No, that's 16 and 14. What am I doing? Where are these Ghost Cavaliers that I think exist but don't? My goodness, am I just going crazy here? Maybe I wrote them down wrong. That's entirely possible. Now I am starting to think that these would be... I would be better off if I was improvising these, rather than doing them, you know, writing down ideas ahead of time. Ugh. Alright, I'm gonna assume that this is... Yeah, I am losing my mind here. It's because I wrote down bad data. I only have myself to blame. Alright, but I think I've got it figured out now. Boy, this Meridia music is a little bit dreary. I think I ought to switch to something a bit more energetic. Can't go wrong with Super Metroid Brinstar music. I wonder if they remixed this in Metroid Dread at all. Feels like remixes show up all over the Metroid Prime series. Song requests? Maybe. I'll consider it, but no guarantees, because I have my thumb firmly pressed on the pulse of, like, what is it? Content ID. So if it's got lyrics, then I probably won't accept the song request, but go ahead and fire anyway. Okay, that's pretty much as it needs to be. Fighter at 811, where might that be? 811, where are you? Afraid of the Cyber Police? Never heard of that. Is that from a game? Oh, that's not the song request. That was just you saying that I am afraid of the Cyber Police. I thought that was a song name. Yeah, the less fiddling I have to do around, like, content ID and what have you, the better. Is this one? Why can I not just stick to an order and just go in a logical order? I don't understand what I did over the weekend. I need that sticky note back. I've already lost my place. Dang, now that I'm thinking about it, that actually would make for a pretty good song name. Afraid of the Cyber Police. No idea what I would do to make that song into a reality, but it's a nice idea. Wait, that was it? Oh, thank God. I was getting sick of looking at this map. Chapter 11. Oh, God. Yeah, what are the village items on that map anyway? Let's see, that one gives you a torch staff, that's fine. This one gives you hero crest, we do need that, so that stays where it is. Phantom ship, I need to make some changes here. Okay, I see a La Rochelle up here. You're going to get that staff that I brought up earlier. Again, I hope to God. Fear the Cyber Police, trademark copyrighted, yeah. Imagine that. Imagine a song with that name, and it's policed to hell and back. With all kinds of media companies claiming ownership. It's like the opposite of that. Who was it that made that song that was like, don't pirate this song? Was that Weird Al, or was that someone else? I can never remember. There we go. That's gonna be the boss drop for this map. There's a skeleton at 12 and 13. Let me see if I can find him. Yep, there he is. You will get a short bow. And there's an advanced skeleton elsewhere. That would be you. You shall get another frickin' sapphire lights. I put these on every map apparently. Walker at 13.5. Who would that be? 13 and 5. That'd be you. I'm gonna give you a magic sword because I can. Gargoyle at 18 and 4. I wanted to change. Where is that? Is that you? No. 18 and 4, that would be you. Right. You're going to get a more advanced weapon. And a gargoyle at 1 in 28. It's going to be way over on the left somewhere. 1 in 28, that's... Well, I don't see it anywhere. 1 in 28, did I write that down right? I don't see it anywhere. Okay, well, whatever gargoyle that was that I wrote down. Oh, it's on the next map. Alright. Well, let's just keep going, shall we? A gargoyle at 11 and 28. No, 1 and 28. That's you. That's you. That's the one that I was thinking of. You're getting a javelin. Ugh, thank God this is almost over. I'm honestly thinking of doing this part off-stream, because it's proven to be very difficult for me to focus, so... Like, editing the inventory of map units, that's such a basic thing that I don't think it really needs to be documented. So I may just skip that in the future. There's an archer at 20 and 23. Where are you? That would be you. Going to give you a change. And a mercenary at 2021, is that you? Yes, it is. You will also have a slight change. Skeletons way up top. 16 not, 18 not. Ah, that's you two. Alright. You two will get steel weapons. Let's see, I have other things here in this SBC 700 playlist. Ooh, this one's one of my favorites. I'll let this play for a little bit. Dark mages. Dark mages are everywhere. They're going to get slightly different weaponry. 1923. It's going to be way down here. I need to find that new dark magic tome that I added. There we go, Shadow Grape. We're gonna be doing this a couple of times, so I gotta remember that code, BD. You also get something special. You're going to get the cavalry effect of magic tome. There we go. There we go, you. This mage is going to change. And the one adjacent gets Hellfire. I actually don't remember who made this. This, of course, is Cog is Push from Baba Is You, but with the instrumentation of Chrono Trigger, which is just fantastic. It's a great combination. I almost wanted to say that Silva Gunner was responsible for it, but no, I think this one actually came from Super Mario World Central. And I have no idea who made it. It's an archer at 17 and 8. That is probably you. Mercenary at 20 and 12. Yeah, at this point I'm just calling out these coordinates so that I can better remember. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be, like, scratching my head trying to figure out what I'm saying, what I'm looking for. Mage at 3 and 8. Gonna give you Thunder. Not Bolting, Thunder. Yep, there we go. Knight's Knight at 5 and 10 needs to turn into a Sword Knight. That is you. Shaman, another Shaman elsewhere. This one is at 16 and 5. You're gonna get the BD. Mage at 12 and 9. Kind of a similar situation here. One gets Elfire, the other turns female. Another Lance Knight at 1 and 15. That must be you. You need to turn into a Sword Knight. Shaman at 1 and 13. That's probably you. You're also going to get the BD. The SG, as it were. Archer at 6 and 12. Turn you. Lance Knight at 12 and 14. That's you. You're going to turn and get a new weapon. Yeah, now I'm starting to get these memorized. Good for me. 14 and 3. 14 and 13. Sorry, 14, 13. You're also going to get Shadow Grip. Okay, I think that is it in terms of map units. Now we move on to text strings. That's pretty much going to be the focus of today. And I hope to God that these go quickly. Alright, let's see here. Now, since I've written these down in order, it should be a simple matter to just locate my starting point and go forward line by line. So, 2BF. Lord. We're gonna differentiate Irika and Ephraim's classes. So, we'll make this one Prince, and then we'll add a new string later for Princess. Call Ephraim's promoted class Lord Knight, after Sigurd's class from Genealogy of the Holy War. There is someone on my Steam friends list who has been playing this game called Ultra Kill, like, every single night. How... what could there possibly be to a game by that name? I guess I'll have to look at it someday and find out. I'm gonna go ahead and override the words Shaman and Druid, because I find them to be a bit misleading. Historically, Shamans and Druids have been, you know, like mystics tied to nature. They would be better names for the anima mages in these games. No ties to, like, darkness and necromancy and what have you. I don't know where in the world that came from. So we're gonna make them Dark Mage and Sorcerer, just like they are in the modern games. The Bone Walker, we're just gonna call a Skeleton. And I'm gonna add another string later for Skeleton Archer. I also wanted to change this into something a little more different. I don't really know why, I just felt like it. Alright, now we're gonna jump ahead to 355. We're gonna shorten this to BRNZ Sword. And then over to here, make that BRNZ Lance. I really wish I could fit the whole word in there, but I can't. 377. Here we go. Gonna shorten this all the way down to SAPH Lance. Oh, I actually leapt ahead too much. Alright, backtracking a bit. I need string 309. Here we go. We're gonna rewrite an awful lot of these class descriptions, because I want them to include not only what weapons they can equip, but what their skills are, so that you can, you know, tell what skills you're going to get with a unit when you choose one or the other for a promotion. You can always use narrow font, though you know some people don't like the thinner letters. That's a good suggestion, Blimpfruit, but I think that these are like the only instances I've run into where I've bumped my head against the character limit. Everything else has been working out fine. Alright, by the way, if anyone out there is familiar with this engine, or just Fire Emblem hacking in particular, does anyone know what this period surrounded by brackets means? The game itself seems very inconsistent on when it uses this little symbol here. So I don't know what it was. At first I thought it was for, like, breaking to a new line of text. But apparently not, because this one splits up just fine. It's for Huffman encoding? Huh. Yeah, that's so weird that it's, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Well, actually, I say that, but I don't actually know what Huffman encoding means. It's used to make text entries have an even character count. Huh. You don't say. I have no idea what the benefit of that is. I've kind of just been not using it much myself. So yeah, this is going to take a while, but yeah, I'm going to be rewriting a lot of these. Huffman encoding is a compression technique used on the text strings in this game. Okay, well if it's for compression, then I don't imagine I'm necessarily going to need it. Because I, of course, have been expanding the size of this project again and again when I penned to the end of like sprite tables and things like that. So, probably not using this encoding thing here is probably not going to matter too much for me. I hope I'm right about that. We use anti-Huffman because text takes a minuscule amount of space even when uncompressed. Right, now that you mention that, I've seen a number of patches available that have some kind of anti-Huffman name attached to them, and I didn't know what those meant, so I didn't bother with them. You can see that that new entry you wrote was like 70 bytes. Oh yeah. Oh, I see, I see. So, interesting. I wonder what would happen if I added this onto it. Well, probably nothing, but... Yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't even considered the different sizes of each string. But I figure as long as it fits in the text box, it ought to be fine. And I did, like, check these ahead of time to make sure that they were short enough to fit. And hopefully I got everything right. Yeah, that's about as long as I want them to get, and also I wrote that wrong. There we go. Yeah, I'm very much keen on the skill systems patch that I found just in the list of what's available for the Sacred Stones. I actually went ahead and looked around the patches available for the other Game Boy Advance games and was sad to see that skill systems is... doesn't appear to be compatible with the other Game Boy Advance games. So I'll have to keep that in mind if I ever want to do hack projects with them. I probably will someday, just for fun. That's basically what this project is all about, is just for fun. Just to kind of have a new playthrough through this game, like, by my rules. It's a fun project. Vast majority of modern hacking happens on Fire Emblem 8. I did notice that when I looked at, what was it, FE Universe? They have a list of ROMhacks, and yeah, it's like over 200 projects for the Sacred Stones, compared to like 60 or 70 for the other Game Boy Advance games. It's crazy. But it makes sense. If you're gonna modify any of these games, you may as well go with the most modern one. And I'm gonna... Do I have to copy and paste this into the next one? Actually, I don't think I need to, because these refer to the, like, these are used by the male and female versions of the class, right? Let's go ahead and check. No, they're not. Oh, no, this is for the Paladin, of course. Fire Emblem 7 used to be the popular one years ago, but it kind of shifted. I imagine that's because of, advances in technology. Technology? What the hell am I saying? No, advances in, like, software and the innovation, that went into these hacking tools and the patches and all that. Yeah, all it takes is, like, one watershed moment, and then all of a sudden, everything changes. I'm gonna need that blank sticky note again. Can't keep track of anything. Alright. Well, I gotta say, it's downright impressive how these old game developers were able to fit, like, they didn't have much room to work with. They had, like, no elbow room when they were writing out text. So if it didn't fit, they had to adjust it. I imagine it's quite a challenge to write good dialogue within the constraints of a very small text box. Alright, this one is going to stay the same. It was a mix of better understanding of the world map stuff and the snowball effect of people building off other people's work. I see. Really? The world map was a factor in it? I haven't even touched on that. I see that it's there, but I have no grand plans on adding to it. But you know what? Maybe I should. Just for the sake of getting, like, a comprehensive understanding of all the capabilities of FE Builder GBA. You know, maybe just one map, you know, off to the side, way off to the side. Where even is the world editor? Not that one. Yeah, maybe I could just, like, plonk a random little map down here on this island or something. Or maybe up here, have it available, like, near the start of the game. Why not? If I look into it and think that I can do it, then I'll give it a try. FE Builder is amazing. Yeah, I've been loving what I've been seeing so far. The last editing software that I worked with was the Nightmare Editor, I think it was called. And it was decent. I felt like I could get a lot done with it, but this just makes things so easy. You know, you can just search for anything. You know, go to a character list or an item list or whatever and just start typing a name. Yeah. And they're just right there. It just jumps right to it. It's terrific. Most hacking softwares I've seen do not take into account quality of life features like that, so it is definitely a blessing to have. So as you can see, what I'm mostly doing here is just shortening the full description so that I can fit in mentions of skills that the class has. It's almost better than having the source code to the game. I know, right? It's nuts. I'm pretty sure I can fit this here. Because I need as much space as I can get down here. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, this one's easy. Just tack that on there. I'm just referring to Kanto without the plus for characters that have the Kanto plus skill. Regular Kanto, I'm not even going to mention. That's just something that pops up rarely. That was another priority with this project, was that I wanted the mounted classes to behave like they did in the Tellius games. I really like having that extra level of versatility. 31B, this one... Superior skill, equip... Oh, right. I changed it so that they have access to axes now. There we go. 31C. This one, I just went ahead and shortened Wyvern to Worm, both because it takes up less space, so you don't have to write out Wyvern KN. So instead we'll just call them Worm Knights. And furthermore, the creature itself looks different enough to where I think it deserves a new name. Alright, let me see if I have anything else good that I can swap over to. Oh, this one's pretty good. Worm Knights. Well, that is what they're called. There actually is a mythical creature called a worm. W-Y-R-M. Decompilation efforts are ongoing. I salute those guys because I got no clue when it comes to that stuff. Me too. Me too. Oh man, these fan efforts are just amazing. I'm blown away every single time. Sometime last year, I took a look at Render 96's like upscaling efforts for Super Mario 64. Wait, no, they were the ones who made the source port for the PC port for Mario 64. No, that was another group, but you get what I'm saying. And then there's the Ship of Harkinian group that's trying to do the same thing, make a PC port for Ocarina of Time. And it looks really good. It looks like it's coming along on schedule. I greatly look forward to these fan-made recreations from the ground up with all the enhancements that you could possibly want. Mage Knights are going to be a bit different. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore the... You know what, let's just overwrite this whole thing. Nintendo will take those down. Well, in the case of the Mario 64 PC port, they couldn't. Because it's completely originally written code that just requires the user to provide all the assets for the game in the form of a base ROM. So, as long as they're not distributing the ROMs, it's completely original code that they have the rights to distribute. So that's another thing that makes it all so impressive. Without the source ROM provided by the end user, it's nothing. It's worthless. So I think that's how the PC ports are going to survive. $32D. Oh, we're skipping way ahead now. This one I need to shorten a bit. I'm making the Druid class a lot more formidable. We'll see if this is a bad idea or not later. Legal loophole. I don't even think it's a loophole. I think as long as it's an original effort, you know, it should be counted as its own thing. 326, we're gonna overwrite this completely. Wait, no. Hold on a minute. For some reason I thought this was the string for the rogue class. Where are they? Well, apparently I wrote that down wrong. Let's see here. $326. Oh, wait. Okay, my mistake. Alright, Alright, this guy's got a whole bunch of skills on him, so I need to make space for him. And this one is bumping right up against the character limit, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. Alright, 3, 2D, 3, 2, 6. Yeah, I just wrote these down in the wrong order. This one's gonna get the crit boost mentioned. Wait, I didn't mean to put that colon there. Honestly, it just feels right to make mention of these sorts of things in the class description, because otherwise, how are you going to know that Swordmasters and Berserkers have an inherently higher crit value than other promoted classes? It's not all that intuitive for a beginner. And it made for a great deal of confusion in future games where they kind of just pick up and drop these extra crit chances depending on the game, and in some cases, depending on the localization. Like, wasn't it the case that Path of Radiance, the Swordmasters didn't have their crit boost in the Japanese version or something like that? I can't remember exactly, but there was definitely something like that that happened with one of the 3D games, and it was really, really confusing. B, 32C, 333, that's the next one. You know what, let's put that word up there. There we go. No, Radiant Dawn had a Resolve and Wrath change in localization. Yeah, there was that. Oh god, now that you... Oh, you just reminded me. Oh, that game. None of the text was dependable. There were so many mistranslations with the like trigger chances and the values of what skills did, and it was just it was a mess. Anyway, hello there, Hollow Bastion. How you doing tonight? Unfortunately, you're here in the middle of a bunch of text edits that I'm trying to make, but yeah, we got a conversation going on here about weird things that have happened throughout Fire Emblem's history. I've been noticing that while I've been making changes in the ROM too, every now and again I'll see things that are bizarrely inconsistent, like how every steel weapon gives you more weapon experience, except for one that doesn't. And there's no particular reason why. You're tired from work, but otherwise good? Yeah, how was your day at work today? Has it been, I assume it's been pretty darn busy, and it's about to get even busier with the, Oh wait, it's May, not June. Never mind. I was about to say, beware the 4th of July, but that's a month off. A month and some change. Let me see if I've got anything else that I can load up into SPC 700. I'm a big fan of Super Mario RPG music, so maybe I'll put in a bit of that. Yeah, sure. Also, yeah, this music's way louder than what I was just playing. That's weird. You'll have to go to bed early, but you'll stick around for as long as you can. Summertime is not too bad, because, Georgia here is not much of a summer vacation state. Really? I imagine that would be quite different if you worked in Savannah, but what do I know? Yeah, Florida, on the other hand, I don't know, man. It's specifically because of the crowds that I avoid Florida. That state is just, like, chaos incarnate. I don't really want much of anything to do with it. Florida hater. I mean, I have been there. I can safely say that I sometimes enjoy myself there, and sometimes I really hate my time there. But that feeds into what I just said. It's like chaos incarnate. West Palm Beach is pretty chill. You don't say. I'm not sure if I've ever been there specifically. I'm not going to change this. I could write out skill dance, but I feel like this kind of sums it up just fine as is. Skipping ahead to 33B, I want the Necromancer to have a descriptive description. God, I hate the way language works sometimes. Yeah, I actually tried, and it's impossible to fit in all the skills that I attached to the Necromancer onto one string of text, so I'm just not even gonna try. 33D. Almost the same, I just want to make one addition. I just feel like making things consistent while I'm at it. Now, I was actually considering rewriting a lot of these monster descriptions to make mention of the skills that they have equipped, because I gave all the promoted monsters a class skill. But I decided against it, because if you're... The only place you're ever going to see that is if you're on the info screen and you hover over, you know, the monster description. You could just as easily just go one page over and look at the skill description instead, so... There's no point in that. These edits are mostly for units that can promote. You've been to Miami, Destin, Orlando, Panama City, and West Palm. Wow. I didn't realize you've been to Florida that much. I think I've been, like, 3 times maybe throughout my whole life, and I don't remember where I went. I went to whatever it is that people go to, when they want to see what's the name of that park? Universal Studios? I went to there. I went to see the like Busch Gardens or whatever it's called, and some beach somewhere. I do not remember. My grandparents lived there for a brief period of time. They didn't stay. I actually don't remember what the reason was. Probably too expensive. 6F7. Oh, we're skipping way down for this one. Wait. F7. Oh yeah, we need to go way down for this one. 06F. I think we're getting into the class role description texts. 06F7, that's this one. Right. These texts are identical between the, you know, the base Lord class and the promoted Great Lord class, so I wanted to make it a bit more interesting. Just a little something to differentiate these two text strings. You've road tripped from New Orleans to Pensacola. New Orleans. I haven't been there. I have not been anywhere in Louisiana. That's a pretty decently sized trip, isn't it? Yeah, you have to cross a... How many states do you have to go across for that? Is it just Alabama and Georgia, or do you have to go through Mississippi, too? 702, we're going to change this out. new description for a new class. And we'll also be doing that with this down here. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm removing the mention of swords, because they no longer use swords. That's all that edit amounts to. It's pretty much the whole South. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. What in the world is west of Louisiana, then? Texas? I don't often think about Texas and Louisiana being neighbors, but I guess they are at this point. Stopped a mobile to hit up casinos. I hear that those are fun. I want to try that one that Jim Sterling mentioned that has, like, crab buffets. I would go for the crab, not for the gambling. Yes, Texas. That is what's west of Louisiana. Gotcha. The Crabcino. That's a very descriptive but also terrible name. Alright, so I don't fancy my chances of getting away with making any edits down here. So we're just gonna skip to the next available spot and just start writing. Apparently these are free? Alright, well, just to be safe, we're gonna go ahead and save what we've done so far. There's an error in this ROM. Okay, hang on a minute. What is wrong here? Show the error, please. System, there are 2 errors. Oh, it does warn me if the string text is too long. Okay. I should have known, but hey, only 2 errors, that's not bad. Alright, well in that case, no, I don't want to save. Alright, let's open this back up. Text ID 316. So this is way too long. Maybe I can shorten this to, like... change it to that. And see if that fixed the error. Wow, that seems to have fixed both my errors in one stroke. How? Wait, really? Is that all I had to do? Yeah, that's all I had to do. How about that? Alright, then. You live in Dallas now, so you've always thought of him as pretty close. You don't say! Texas resident. I think I've only been to Texas, like, once in my life. And that was for a very distant family reunion. I have a lot of, family members that live in Texas that I, like, barely know. Still, it was a very fun trip. I did like, my time in Texas. It wasn't as oppressively hot as I expected it to be, but that was, like, 10, 20 years ago. I have no idea what the climate's like there right now. Alright, now we start adding some text strings. Starting at the thousands. This includes new names for the trainee classes. Because frankly, I am sick of having to differentiate between 3 different pupils, journeymen, and recruits. So I'm giving them different names. Deal with it. New names for the skeleton archers. Explicitly taken from the Battle for Westnoth. For anyone that's played that before. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and write this down. All this starts at address 1001. Or is it just 1000? Oop. It's just 1000. Very first state you ever landed foot in was Texas. Your flight was Bogota, Austin, and then Atlanta. I see, I see. I was about to ask why why they don't just take a straight line over the Gulf of Mexico, and then I realized, oh wait, that's probably, like, Cuban airspace, and they don't like American planes flying there. Very first person you met in the US was a very rude airport staff member. Go figure. Didn't like you not being able to speak English. Ouch. I mean, I would get slightly frustrated, but I wouldn't take it out on the guy that I was talking to. And for God's sake, you would think that, like a Texas airport would be more inclined than, you know, your average American airport to hire people that are fluent in Spanish. In fact, you would think that there would be more people that are bilingual in that state compared to other places, but I guess not. Oh god, I hope that the skills I've given these classes are final, because I don't want to have to go back and tweak these again. What is the state with the most bilinguals? I don't know. California or New York, maybe? Just because they see a lot of international traffic? That would be my guess. It's time to study Mandarin and Chinese. Oh boy. Not looking forward to having to do that if ever the need arises. Yeah, Japanese and Chinese, not very borderline impenetrable to a fresh-faced Westerner. It's definitely possible, but much more difficult than if I were to pursue, say, German. I'm sorry, I've lost my place yet again. It's just gonna keep on happening. A silly thought just came to my mind. I was thinking back to my earliest days of, like, playing around with editors and game development softwares and things like that, and I would think that just because I typed out a description for something, like, whatever I was editing automatically had all those properties. So I would just say, oh, it has this much attack power, it has this much accuracy, and I would assume that it would just automatically carry into the data, and of course that's not how text strings work in the slightest. Feels silly to write axes 2 times in a row like that, but so be it. I forgot to separate these with the Pilcrow. I'll cut it off at the 4. Is that gonna fit? I'm honestly not sure. This is specifically for the class reel, so hopefully it fits. Well, that's all the text strings I wanted to add. So now we're gonna go into the class editor, sorry, the class reel editor, and make some changes. I didn't even realize before that these text strings were completely different from the in-game descriptions from unit to unit, so that's a interesting discovery. Gonna turn you into a sword knight, and we're gonna make the palette that of Franz. I'm surprised that that wasn't already there to begin with. Another one of those weird inconsistencies that I talked about already. Like, they got the Cavalier here, they got an early game Cavalier that joins you with a palette and everything, so why didn't they use him in the class reel? I don't know. Gonna overwrite the Cleric to make room for something else. And this is going to change to the Phantom. I wanted to show off the Phantom in the class reel. So we're going to have that, and we're going to show... which animation? D3. And we'll change this too, just for the heck of it. There we go. Some weirdness in the reel, like male mage knight that uses Selena's palette. So that wasn't... I noticed that while I was looking at this last night, and I was like, hey, what... Is that the generic palette for the mage knight? Oh, no, it isn't. Yeah, that is very strange. I don't know how that ended up happening. Maybe it was just a genuine mistake. I also need to put in the correct description string. So it's not going to be that. I might have forgotten to write a new description for the Phantom. Yeah, I totally did. Alright, well, let's just go ahead and add one. Alright, how am I going to describe them? Yeah, this one I'm just trying to invent on the fly. That's good enough. We don't need to be too crazy about this. Just something basic to get the job done. And I've lost my place again. How does this keep happening? It's like I scrolled around on my Google Docs thing, and I didn't realize it. Alright, you're fine. We're gonna skip down to the Dark Mage and give him Noel's palette. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to update all these palettes here to reflect actual player characters. So we're going to be doing that, and if you decide to do that, don't forget to update the enemy color thing right here, because otherwise it's going to show up weird. And come to think of it, that's what happened with the Summoner in the class reel. That's why he has this weird red and brown color. It's because it's Iwan as if he was an enemy unit, so that's kind of weird. Alright, Dark Mage. Any other changes? Nope. Moving on to this one, we're going to change this to the new Valkyrie class. Which will require, well, we don't have the right sprite yet, so we're going to have to come back to this later. Yeah, this is the one sprite that I wanted to create, so we're going to import that at a later date when I finish with it, but for now, we'll just keep these where they are. I mean, I guess I could put in, like, the female ranger or something. Wherever they are. Yeah, we'll just put that there for now, 32. Alrighty. The Berserker needs to change. Because... because Dozla now uses a unique sprite for his animation, so we're going to have to update this such that the sprite points to this. Yeah, there we go. Well, actually, maybe not that one specifically. How about... Yeah, that's better. Yes, custom animations. I found a whole bunch of them through FE Universe's animation repository. I've already credited the person who made this animation on a previous live stream, and... well, you can look them up yourself if you're interested, or I can like look up the link and give it to you. But yeah, they have all kinds of unique little animations up there. I didn't go for all of them, but in the case of the Berserkers, I found that the default Berserker sprite was terribly unfitting for both Dozla and Ross, so I brought in new sprites for them. And I had to install the patch so that I could have custom unit animations, too. Oh, you've submitted some Blimp Fruit. Oh, cool. I guess I'll be doing likewise after I'm done with the new Valkyrie sprite. Which, I guess I might as well show what I've done so far. It's just one frame, but, you know, all things gotta start somewhere. That is what I want to work on this week, if I can find enough time for it. I would like to be able to import this new animation at the end of the week. If I could just remember where I put the darn thing. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, for God's sake, why does the window have to be so darn big? Alright, but yeah, this is, that is what I'm working on for a new design for this class. Obviously inspired by the design of the Valkyrie from, the Tellius games, you know, the class that Mist promotes into, with the long scarf. That's pretty much all there is to it, so... I don't know where I got the idea of making that class into a bow and staff, class, but... I've never seen it done before, so I figured, you know what, that's like the perfect combination for a backline support unit. So I think it'll work out. Looks neat, thank you. I appreciate that. Of course, animating it is going to be an entirely different beast. That's going to be a challenge. So we'll see how that goes. So I did the Berserker. Next up is the Ranger. I wanted to give him a player character palette. So that's gonna go to Ford, who is now able to promote into that class. Warrior will have that point to Ross. I didn't bother tweaking this, but I guess I might as well. It seems that for some classes there is no difference between player army and enemy army in the palettes. The Assassin's gonna change completely. We're not gonna have the Assassin in the class reel anymore. I apologize. Bow and spellcaster animations are on the easier end, at least. Not as much motion. That probably influenced me a little bit. I was like, yeah, I could give them... I could copy in the sword animation too, but you know what? It'll be way easier to just do a bow and a staff animation. So that might have carried into my decision a little bit. No, wrong setting. There we go. And this needs to be D7. Nope, D6. Yeah, for some reason the ID numbers on this screen specifically, on the class reel editor, they add 1 to like every palette and sprite animation. So, gotta keep that in mind. I'm gonna see if I can change the music to something else here. There we go. This hack has no ass. I'm sorry, Mr. Hill, but you have no ass. It does have an assassin. I'm just omitting them from the class reel because it's getting kind of crowded. As far as I know, there's no way to expand the class reel, so you just gotta work with the number of slots that you have. Where was I? Okay, that's fine. This one, we're gonna change the... We're just gonna change the sprite. We're gonna fix this. You're welcome, Intelligent Systems. I fixed this one minor thing for you. This one, I wanted to give Natasha's palette. Further down, wanted to give this the palette of Noel. Make sure to make it Player Army. General, might as well make that into the palette for Vigard. Swordmaster, let's make this, let's turn this into Marissa. There we go, that'll work out. Joshua gets the sprite for Myrmidon, so we'll give Swordmaster to Marissa. Is this the thing in the intro? Yes. Yes, that's all that this is. This is the opening class reel. I was watching it go by while I was testing the other day, and I realized, maybe I should update this. Mess of pointers used to assign when things become visible in the class reel is one of the few things Builder doesn't yet have an editor for, because no one has had the willpower or cared enough to do so. Same for adding to it. That's interesting. Yeah, it is kind of a minor footnote. I'm not surprised that it did not take priority. Wyvern Lord, we're just going to change this to the axe animation, which is now at the end of the list. So, do that. Again, I'm off by 1. That just keeps on happening. Falconite. Did I want to do something with the Falconite? Yes, I don't want them to use the... I want them to use a sword in the opening. So, I didn't even have the thing imported correctly for the sword animation. And actually, now that I look at it, that doesn't look quite right. The hair shouldn't be that color. I might need to look into that later, so I'm gonna go ahead and make note of it. I noticed this when I was importing new animations for the Paladin, well, old animations technically. The axe animations, for some reason, were miscolored. Like, the Paladin's shield turned pure white, even though none of the others did. So I had to go in and fix that, and I'm probably gonna have to do that with this sprite too, but we'll save that for another day. And... Summoner, well, I already did that change, so we're good. I think that's it. I think we're ready to get back into the game and test. Excellent. Well, let's do it. And you know what? I might as well let the class reel play out so we can see those changes in action. I'll take a quick moment to drink some water. Even if this is the very first round of classes, we should at least see the Phantom with the new animations that I imported for it. Here we go, here we go. Show me Dozla. Yes! Oh, he looks great. I hope to actually get some usage out of him. I used to, like, never use Dozla and some of the other late game characters. I do like how the text automatically updates, even if it's, you know, in that fancy font and everything. And it still goes through the animations of, like, squashing and stretching. Funny that shows class spaces here and nowhere else. Yeah, that was, I want to say that I have seen it elsewhere. In the manual. Yes, yes, show me the Phantom. No, he's got the wrong animation. Damn it. I wanted the melee animation. Oh well, I'll do that next time. Well, at least it showed up. And hey, Ephraim's got his new name and everything. His new name. Class name. Whatever, you get the idea. Actually, now that I look at it, what... Is this the order that they showed up in the list? If it is, then the next class will be the Brigand. Okay, yes, it is the same order. I don't know why I thought that it wasn't. Alright, new name. New name for the shaman. It works. Oh man, it's also really cool that the base stats have been updated from what I changed them to be. So you might have noticed that the Dark Mage has higher defense than it did before. Dank Mage. Looking back on it, I think that Axe Fighter animation is, like, one of the worst in the entire game. Like, throughout the entire Game Boy Advance trilogy. I think I've already said this on a previous stream, too, but yeah, they just do a little hop, there's a motion blur, and then it's like the same sprite rotated by 90 degrees. You know something I'm noticing? I don't think that this class rail accounts for the split that one of the patches did, dividing strength and magic into separate stats. So it's just showing every... Okay, that needs to change. That's right, I never assigned the new strings to the classes. So... disregard that. I'll fix that next time. Been a few custom animation attempts to replace the fighter. I haven't looked at those yet, but I probably should. Heck, if I like them enough, I might actually use them. Yep, there he is. I don't know why this used a generic player character palette before. Yeah, Irika called Prince. That's something that will be fixed in the future. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Ephraim joked about how she could pass as a prince and, like, ascend the throne in his place. Okay, how long does this go on? I could have sworn that these usually end by now. There's a lot of cool custom animations, but maybe you're a little biased. It's true. If you put the tools in the hands of fans, they'll take an official product and just improve on it in every way conceivable. I'm sure people out there have seen examples of characters being modeled in a recent 3D game, and they look alright, and then the fans get a hold of them and enhance them in so many ways and animate them so smoothly for the most pure and innocent of purposes that the human mind is capable of. Of all things to end on is the gargoyle. Free labor. With passion. Well, you can't buy food with passion, so that kind of power has to be used wisely. That's a subject for another day. We're gonna go ahead and move into the Prince in his rescue mission. Carcino! Carcino has betrayed Frelia and joined forces with Grado. Carcino's troops stop Prince Innes, blocking his way to Johanna. With Soldiers occupying the road forward and back. He is trapped in a hopeless situation. I really wish that the text moved just a little bit faster on this screen. Irika rushes to the prince's aid. Yeah, Hollow Bastion, if you're listening, I have finally gotten to the game, so... How long did that take? An hour and a half? Yeah, that's about on average. General Glenn of the Great Imperial Army, also known as the Sunstone. Yes? Your orders. I'm not... I'm not snapping back to the voices that I did last time. I'm trying. It's not working. Captured the leader of the rebel army in Carcino. Capture Irika. Irika, do you mean the Princess of Renee? Irika invaded Carcino. She massacred the citizens of Port Kiris. Then she fled south. Glenn, go crush the rebels who brought ruin to Carcino. Understood, sire. Yeah, maybe I'm playing it up a little bit too much. What did the Emperor say, brother? I've been ordered to kill the Princess of Renee. Cormag, I want you to remain here in the capital. I'll go alone. If that's what you want, brother, so be it. But you seem troubled. Don't tell me you're concerned about fighting the princess of a ruined land. I never was able to slip anything past you, little brother. You're right. This duty falls heavily on my shoulders, more than any other. Tell me, brother, do you know the princess? Yes, when Renee and Greta were still close. I met the girl. I met Irika only once. We spoke briefly, but I felt she was a woman of great kindness. I cannot bring myself to believe that Princess Irika is evil. I cannot. Glenn, the Emperor has ordered. There's the rub, Cormag, that's it exactly. His Majesty has never spoken a falsehood in all the time I've served him. And as a servant of the Empire, I'm duty-bound to obey his orders. But I can see no reason to think Princess Irika's heart is any less gentle now. What are these cowardly mutterings? It is because you three generals are weak that we others must work so hard. And yet you get the honor of killing the girl. How I long to do your duty for you. Ugh, falter, you treacherous swine. What's this? Is this how you speak toward your peer knights of the realm? Lest you've forgotten, I too am a general, the same rank as you. You wretch, you were cast out from the army for mistreating civilians. What lies have you told to receive pardon and reinstatement at the same time? Our beloved Emperor felt my skills were needed, and his word is law. His Majesty has earned my sincerest and most undying gratitude. And then we have you three, Dussel, Selena, and you. The three of you have proven to be unreliable time and time again. We were brought in to plug the holes, don't you see? You ought to thank me, Glenn. Walter, if you dare insult my brother further... Come now, Cormag, and what would you do to me if I did? Would you fight me here? Would you show such disloyalty to the Emperor? Peace, Cormag. We are His Majesty's men. We will honor his commands. Mark my words, Walter. Your crimes are neither forgiven nor forgotten. Meanwhile, Prince Innes, what do you say? Can you continue? Yes, of course. Do you believe this is enough to make me give up? I am surprised you mercenaries haven't turned and fled, though. You see, Garrick's Mercenaries takes its name from Garrick, me. I'm the chief here. If I quit while our employer still fought on, they'd want a new name, you follow me? So, what's the plan? Same as before. We remain surrounded. They're not going to allow us to simply walk out of here. I sent a messenger off with news of our plight. However, even on the wings of a Pegasus Knight, Freya is days away. We can expect no help from them. So we tighten our belts and survive, is that it? Or would you rather quit this place and rest in comfort? Surrender? I'm the Prince of Freya. I don't know the meaning of the word. The fate of the world rides on my shoulders, and I'll make it to Johanna. Even if I have to crawl there to do it. Now that makes me feel better. If you're so determined, we all may live a little while longer. Hey, Chief, Prince. What is it, Tethys? I've got bad news, and then I've got worse news. What's the bad news? We've no more weapons in reserve. What you're holding is what we've got. Once those are gone, there won't be much fight left in us. That is bad news. Well, what's the worst news? They've begun to move. They're going to attack again. Looks like they're sending up the whole lot of them this time. Right, you two, you're done here. Discharged, fired, whatever. You can surrender or flee. The choice is yours. What? I'm the one they're after. Throw down your weapons and you'll walk away alive. I don't need you here. You'll only be in my way. Who knows? You filthy sellswords will probably sell me out anyway. Hold on there. That's not true, and you know it. Peace, Tethys. Hey, Prince, what are you going to do? I'm going to get out of here on my own. I'll break to the south and escape into the mountains. That ain't gonna be easy. How you plan on doing that? I'm not telling you. I have no idea when you'll decide to betray me. Go on, get out of here. I'd rather do this alone. Sounds like you're trying to make sure you're the only one who dies. Fool. I have no intention of dying. But there can be no false hope of reinforcements riding in to save the day. You and I are not the same. You're a commoner, and I'm Freya's heir. We of noble birth do not shirk the duties to which we are born. What are you waiting for? You may go. Well played, my lord. I've always loved the melodrama of martyrdom. There's no way I can abandon you after that fine performance. I'm staying with you. To the end. What are you saying? You dare ignore the orders of the one who's paying your wages? Tethys, I want you to go and surrender. Give my regards to Iwan and Marissa. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not going anywhere. Now, would the two of you stop acting like such men? And you've already fired us. You can't order us to leave now. Unbelievable. And you people call yourselves mercenaries. I thought you fought for money, not for duty. Yeah, that's one of the rules. Guess we're lousy mercenaries, eh? Now, let's get thinking. We still need a plan to get us all out of here alive. You're supposed to be a good tactician, so I figure I won't die easily. Tell us what to do, Prince. We'll follow your orders. Very well. I'll see what I can do to avoid getting us filled with arrows. Say, Prince, if by some miracle aid were to come, from which direction would it arrive? From the north. But there's little or no hope of that. Even if Freya were to send us aid, they would not arrive until... This may be good news, and again it may be more bad news. There, on that northern mountain path. Someone's coming. Oh, these scenes are getting longer and longer. Prince Innes! Prince Irica, the prince is surrounded by the mercenary armies of Carcino. He looks vastly outnumbered. I doubt he can hold out much longer. I can see that. Let's hurry. Oh, you said it. Okay, so... if you weren't here last time, I have made a decision to include certain units and not use others, depending on the campaign that I'm playing on. And right now, we're going into this a little bit understaffed. All these characters at the bottom I'm considering to be on Ephraim's team. Even Tana. So... Oh boy, that's gonna make this challenge even more challenging, because I gotta get Irica all the way down here to talk to Prince Innes. Getting saved by Irica is kind of cringe. Well, we'll see how he takes it. Oh boy, yeah, that doesn't leave me with very many soldiers here, but I will do my best. I wonder if Vanessa can talk to him. Nope, wrong button. Well, according to this, she... Wait a minute. That can't be right. Oh, wait, does this just list, support conversation talkie... support conversation talkies? I don't know what to call them. I guess that's how they did it in the, Game Boy Advance days. That's for supports, yeah. Oh, okay. I guess it was the games that came after this that listed dialogue with NPCs. You were thinking... You wish that splitting up of the army is an actual thing that happened in the Sacred Stones. It would be cool if you could do that. Although you would also, of course, want more characters overall, which I don't think anyone would complain about. Sacred Stones has, like, one of the smallest rosters of playable characters out of any game in the series. It just show talks on stat screens with skill system? Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Okay. Then, yeah, it's just Irika that can do it with the units that I'm deploying. Alright, well, I think everyone's kitted out. I've given Franz the ability, lightweight. That's why he's only got 3 weapons. But we'll see how this goes. I am definitely going to be depending on Seth a little bit here. Actually, I've already identified one mistake that I can correct. No, not that. Take that back out. We are going to put Gilliam in the front. There we go. Seth, on the other hand, I'm almost tempted to send him even further out, but I don't know if he'll live. If I could, if he could split Seth in half, he'd be your best unit. No doubt about that. Alright, yeah, let's just leave him here for now. We'll have Franz hang back a little bit. And everyone else will catch up, and we'll get ready to attack on the next turn. You know, the Danger Zone, or whatever it's called, that was also an optional patch that I could have installed. But I decided not to. Maybe I should. The ability to highlight specific enemy attack ranges is a very nice quality of life feature that I should probably consider a little bit more. Alright, well, even if... Wait a minute. No, I've got a better idea. On the next turn, I will pick Irika up and then just ferry her with Vanessa. Or I could have done that with Seth. Choices. My plan to get rid of Klimt has yielded some unexpected fruit. The head of Frelia's Prince Innes will make a fine gift to Grado. Lord Pablo, Prince Innes and his men have taken refuge in a mountain stronghold. Do we have your permission to finish them off? Yes, flush the prince out and cut him down. We'll find Klimt later and roast his old bones as well. Hehehe. Danger Zone only shows the total range of all enemies. Oh, okay. Well, that's still useful to have in some situations. Lord Klimt, Pablo's troops are moving towards the stronghold. It looks like they're planning on chasing down Prince Innes and his men. Pablo, you mad, reckless imbecile! If Prince Innes dies here, the bond between Carcino and Frelia is sundered forever. Carcino will be nothing more than a vassal paying tribute to Grado. We must find some way to aid Prince Innes. Oh, wait, my Lord Klimt. Pablo is after you as well. If you reveal yourself here... may fortune keep you safe, Prince Innes. Going right for Seth? A bold move. I am playing on hard mode, if you couldn't tell, so... Not even Seth is capable of double attacking everything at this stage in the game. Oh, but Franz is. Well, good for him. He's a speedy little lad. Here they come. That's another little tweak that I made. I made Thunder into an extended range attack. They actually ignored Gilliam. I'm surprised. I figured that even with Pure Water, he would be an ideal target, but no, they just completely ignored him. Wait, what? Oh, I should have paid more attention to what they were carrying. Well, gosh, I barely did anything, and now I'm stuck here in this choke point. I think I have to take Irika with Vanessa and just run. I'm working with the platforms. By platforms, are you perhaps talking about the little terrain tiles that pop up? Anyway, welcome to the stream here. Liang. They're horrible in OG. The terrain tiles? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, actually, you know what? You know what? Irika's the perfect person to take out this fighter. Now that she can use a silver sword, she's actually kind of a force to be reckoned with. Also, I've been getting really lucky throughout this playthrough. Look at how much strength she has. I feel like I have ended games in Sacred Stones before with that amount of, that amount of, whatchamacallit, strength on her. Like, it's very hard to get that stat up on those in the battle. Oh! Well, color me curious. I didn't even think about, replacing those, but yeah. That's a sprite just like any other, so... If you've got if people are working on good-looking alternatives, then maybe I should look into that. Because now that I look at it, yeah, these are, like, the same as they appeared in the first Game Boy Advance game. A little bit washed out. So maybe it would be a good thing to replace them. You know what? It'll be fine. Female mercenary. Yes, I have sprinkled in generic female enemy units. I felt like it made a lot of sense in the Carcino campaign, because these are mercenary units that aren't, you know, they're not conscripted professionals like in Grado. So I thought that would be a fun little thing to do to switch it up. You know what? I think I'll have Seth take Irika. Nice. Unfortunately, I don't have a Silver Lance handy. Alright. Run like the wind, Seth. I meant to do that. Yeah, as the chapters get later and later into the game, I will definitely be having more and more fun with the individual unit edits. I mean, I've got 2 entirely new classes added to the game, so I'm looking forward to sprinkling a few of those in on late-game maps. Oh, Garrick, I'm not sure you can hold out all that long. Shoot. I mean, literally, yeah, that's what he just did. I need to get around to replacing that graphic at some point or another. That's the default skill activation sprite for skill systems right now. And honestly, I kind of just want to swap it with, you know, the default skill activation animation in Sacred Stones, where it's like a bunch of little orbs coalescing into the center of the unit. Arthur, how accurate are you? Yeah, you can handle this. Boy, Arthur's been a real MVP throughout this campaign. He's been getting magic growth like crazy. Alright, why is this guy so scary? Oh, he has a killer axe, that's why. I think we can knock him out real quick. Yes. I'll take that, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think we need the hammer on this map. In fact, I don't think there's much of any armored knights throughout the entire campaign in Carcino. Like, we'll run into them eventually, but for now, there's just nothing. I think I will switch the animations off after I get to the midway point and talk to the prince. Is that the best you can do? Huh. Alright, Iron Lance it is. Yeah, truth be told, the triangle adept skill, after I put it on the gem weapons, it's proven to be a little bit underwhelming. The effect is nowhere near as pronounced as I thought it would be. Also, this archer decided not to attack. That's weird. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna drop Irica off. Hey, you're up. You're getting paid a lot more than us common soldiers. Time you earned your gold. I hear you. Where do I start killing? That way, the Fralian troops! Don't point that blade in our direction. I'll do what I can, no promises. Good day. Ugh. Was it Triangle Adept or Triangle Adept Plus? I actually did not see Triangle Adept Plus in the skill list. I may have to, like, edit the list myself, because I know that there's more skills than what can fit in 256 bytes. Or whatever the list is. You know, from 00 to FF. She's a beauty, but I'll keep my distance and keep my head. Yeah, I'll look into that. If there is a Triangle Adept Plus, then I will probably put that in instead. Ooh. Nice. Of all numbers to pop up now. Unsure of the current state of builder skill systems, we'll have to take a look. I should have the version listed somewhere. I think this version of skill systems was last updated on April 1st this year. I don't know if that helped you or not. Right, that archer is about to become a problem. Alright, that works. God, that skill animation is just so ugly, though. Difference between Adept and Adept Plus is that Adept only affects the skill holder, so it improves and reduces your accuracy, but doesn't double the enemy's hit increase or decrease. That's what I thought. So, yeah, I definitely want the Plus version of Triangle Adept, if I can find it. Alright, these guys are not a problem. We'll just park Gillian here and let him take care of everything. I could send Ross down here on a lark. The graphics repository has skill animations too. Wait, really? I didn't notice. Hang on, I'm gonna take a quick look and see if I can identify where it is in the repository. Spells and skills. You know what? I didn't even look in there. Okay, yes, that is well worth considering, because look, here's an example. Oh wait, you guys can't see it. That's an example that I just pulled up for, what is it, Pavis or Big Shield, something like that. Yeah, that looks good! I should probably use that. I just need to figure out how to import these animations, and we'll be good to go. That being said, I would have been willing to settle for the default Sacred Stone's skill animation for everything if push came to shove. Alright, Arthur, you stay up here. Vanessa, you can help over here. I don't know why this archer is not moving. Oh, never mind. Franz got this. Alright, Vanessa, you, I think, can slip in right here. Alright, now we finally get around to conversing. Princeess, are you well? Irica, is that you? We've come to aid you. You must be exhausted. Please, fall back and rest. We'll take care of these dogs. I cannot allow that. I will not run and hide while a woman protects me. We will continue to fight. You can join us. If that's how you want it, let's go then. Irica, a moment. Prince? I would give you my thanks. You, the Princess of Renee, came to my aid. I am in your debt. Oh, that's right, I gave her a magic sword. Well, this helps. I mean, it's not much, but it'll do. Reinforcements have arrived, Garrick. Lucky us, eh? Good thing we held out as long as we did. That was your doing. Thank you. Don't let your guard down now, Prince. There's still enemies to fight, and it'd be such a shame to die now. I agree completely. Let's go. Do I have any spare bows? Oh, wow, I do. Alright, nice. Alright, yeah, let's just go ahead and get all the talking done. Hey, Teddy's. Looks like help is on the way. Really? Perhaps faith is a good thing. I've never had much before, but perhaps good things do happen to good people. Good things? I like the sound of that. What do you suppose might come my way? Ha! I wonder. Alright, yeah, we're gonna be depending on him quite a bit here. Yes, I like this turn of events. I always like seizing that ballista before the enemy gets a chance to. Does she wink at the end of that convo? I'm sure that she would. I'm not sure if she actually does. I wasn't paying attention. But that would be very in character for that particular conversation. Well, now that this silver bow is unbreakable, Innes is about to go on a friggin' rampage. There's a wink command? Really? I guess that makes sense because the ice sprites are disconnected from the rest of it. Female archers, it's like killing Naomi for free. Oh, no, don't say that. Oh yeah, I gotta keep track of where Marissa is. Excuse me. Alright, I'm fine. So I don't really have to worry about the bandits, right? There's not even any villages on this map. I should have checked his weapon. I should have sent Seth a little bit further out. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. I'm gonna go ahead and shut animations off, because we've got all these reinforcements here, and there's more coming from, like, every direction. So, strap yourselves in. We're gonna be here for a while. Always liked adding female generic enemies. Too bad you can run into sprite issues with it. Well, I added in, you know, the unique combat animations for this character, or, sorry, for this class. So I'd like to think that it'll mostly turn out okay. Have any of you out there run into any, like, unexpected problems when doing this sort of thing? If there's any reason I shouldn't be doing some of the things that I'm doing, feel free to tell me whenever. No, not you. Go for the other guy. The issue is with the map sprites. Ah, gotcha. Oh yeah, I meant to go and look for, like... I meant to go and look and see if anyone had added new map sprites for this class to the graphics repository, because... as it is, that's a bit of an ugly animation that, like, does nothing. In hindsight, I shouldn't have put him there. Yeah, the arm twitching. Well, I mean, that's the only thing that is animating. So yeah, if possible, I will look around after tonight and see if I can find a new map sprite for this. I did already get a few. I don't think any of them are visible on this map right now, but at the very least, when I was adding in the War Monk class, I got new map sprites for him. I think we'll mostly be fine here. Assuming you don't have a hand axe. You don't. You can only have so many different map sprites on screen at once. That's why landing at Taizo is the only map that mixes generic human and monster enemies. Really? Okay, I didn't consider that at all. So I wonder what happens. If that is indeed a problem, then I will make adjustments. When what I need to do becomes apparent. Let's see, who's got what? Oh, you guys barely got anything. Hey, you know what? I think I'm just gonna park Seth here and let him do, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're gonna park Seth right here. There we go. There we go. It's also new for me. Yeah, I'd never heard of that sort of thing. Fire Emblem 8 actually has very poor optimization on monster map sprites. The repo has a bunch of monster map sprites that are better optimized. Really? Same goes for the Phantom and Fleet map sprites. Well, there's another little something that I'll have to keep my eyes out for. You know what? I changed my mind. Franz, you go back up here and help out. Everyone else just, You know what I should do? I should see if I've got any spare swords for Garrett here. Yeah, just take them all. Why not? Alright, we're fine. There's a couple of ROMhacks like Vision Quest that run into the sprite overflow issue. It causes some funny graphical glitches. Huh. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and write that down, because I was fishing for ideas on what ROMhacks from the community to play, because I've actually never played a Fire Emblem ROMhack made by another person. There's no particular reason for that. I just, I think the issue is that when I had the time to play ROMhacks like these, it was in the early days of Fire Emblem hacking, so there were, like, no finished projects anywhere to be found. Ugh. Certainly lots of ambition. There were a lot of projects that got started, but finished projects were hard to come by. Yeah, the GBA engine shows its limitations. Oh, I forgot about you. I don't have a restore staff. Okay, well, let's at least make sure that we get this area taken care of quickly. There was an explosion of finished projects in the last year. Well, that's great. I love hearing about these fan projects that get seen through all the way. Is that you, Marissa? Chief? What a mess. Looks like the guild bungled. They're usually diligent about making sure this sort of thing doesn't happen. But here we are, two people of the same troop working for opposite sides. What should we do? Well, that's a good question. As a mercenary, your loyalty should always lie with the person paying your wages. You decide. We can cross blades if you want, but I'd rather you retreat. Of course, if you betray your employer, you'd soil your sterling name. Come on, Chief. What do you want me to do? Well, that's easy. I'd like you to come over and join my side. Right, done. Hold on, is that it? Just like that? You know what this will do to your reputation, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, let's see if Garrett can pull this off. Yeah, he pulled it off! I was reaching down to pick something up, and yeah, he is, he's the man. Oh, I like these odds. Nice. Marissa is an awful mercenary. It's not her fault. They said it themselves. It was like their mercenary guild that screwed up and sent her in the wrong direction. Alright, there we go. Wait, I got the one that had already been used. Oh, what a ripoff. Alright, well, we make do with what we got. Oh, this kind of stinks. I gotta wait around here until Irika wakes up. I guess the least I could do is pick her up and move her somewhere. So much of this success can be attributed to FE Builder. Again, that's wonderful to hear. I'm thrilled with what I've seen out of this software so far, and I'm glad that it's been helping people see their dreams come true, basically. This feels a little bit hairy. I'm gonna need Franz to advance, like, really quick and help me out here. Alright, get in there. Good enough. And then Ross can finish him off. There we go. Oh god, Ross is just rocketing up through his stat growths. I did give him aptitude, so it's understandable, but jeez. The boy's a walking mountain of stats. Alright, now things get interesting. How am I gonna deal with all this? Actually, doesn't one of them have, like, a thing to steal? Oh, right, I sent Calm in the other direction. You discovered FE Builder last year, it ruined your sleep. Same, honestly, same. Like, the first night that I got to really digging around in this engine, I was just enthralled with all the possibilities. Let's put Irika... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drop her off right here so that I can protect her better. Those are my best odds. Let's go for it. Ah, you missed. So, you Blimp Fruit, you would recommend Vision Quest, Sun God's Wrath. You know what? You seem to know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna write these down. Sun God's Wrath, Four Kings, Last Promise, and Iron Ember. Iron Emblem. Is Iron Emblem perchance a Iron Man modification of a Fire Emblem game? Probably not. Okay, but Marissa, you're not gonna be much help here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and send you north to deal with the bandits. Okay, Vanessa, how good's your defense? Defense of 9. She'll do fine. Includes a hack to enforce to enforce no resetting. Gotcha. It's an optional campaign. Oh, you know what? I meant to ask. An idea that I had for a future ROMhack project, which I'm not sure if I'll actually carry out, but, you know, it's an idea floating around. Has anyone already made a third campaign for Fire Emblem 7, just for Lyn? You know, where it goes through the same story as Eliwood and Hector, but Lyn gets to be the point of view character. I was honestly surprised that that wasn't a thing to begin with. So I wonder if a fan has already gone about doing that. I did find something called Lyn Emblem, and that is... I mean, it technically fulfills that criteria, but it does it by way of turning every single character into Lyn, so not quite what I'm looking for. Lyn mode, but more Lyn mode. Yeah. I mean, she was presented... This topic came up on Discord because I was talking about how there were remarkably few female main characters in Fire Emblem that, you know, got to enjoy the spotlight by themselves without having a male character back them up. So Lyn, of course, gets shoved to the side in favor of Eliwood and Hector. Micaiah has to play second fiddle to Ike at the end, and I don't even know how to begin qualifying Fire Emblem Fates, so I'm not even gonna try. That's the one with Dorcas. Yep. Is that what people remember that game for nowadays? You know, come to think of it, I don't think I even remember what that commercial was like. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, I found it.
The drums of war are beating. No man can be trusted. What happened to Dorcas? I put poison in his mouth.
Build an army. Trust nobody. Fire Emblem.
That's
Only on
it!
Game Boy Advance. Rated everyone.
Well, I hope you guys got a good understanding of what Fire Emblem is all about from those few seconds. That was like a Game of Thrones outtake. What even was that? What happened to Dorcas? I don't know. The world may never know. Okay, if I leave Innes here, is he gonna, like, be completely weighed down by this weapon here? It's got a weight of 20. That might be dangerous. Oh, that's cool. It appears at the front of his inventory. I think that must have been added by skill systems. That was one of the things you wanted to do, was to not do that to your own female protagonist. Yeah. It's worth prioritizing because Fire Emblem just... No kidding! I didn't realize that skills could trigger on a long-range weapon like that. Well, that settles it. Innes is the best ballistician in the entire game. Hands down. Alright, now what am I gonna do about you harpies over here? If I'm lucky, I could have Garrett take him out with one swing. Nope. Marissa, you're at a huge disadvantage here, but maybe you can pull something off. It's not quite good enough. But, on the other hand, I don't think anyone's, like, in danger of dying right now, so maybe this will be okay. Man, I can't believe I just completely dispatched that Ranger like it was nothing. Didn't expect that. Alright, these guys are closing in, but they all have lances, so you know what that means. You know what? If anyone can handle a Killer Axe without consequence, it's probably Ross. Let's see what happens. Out of all the characters that got named in the commercial, yeah, they chose Dorcas for that? I mean, fair enough, he does get introduced early in the game, but, like, really? Imagine if an anime was promoted that way. The only character that you get to see is, like, this completely unimportant side character that does almost nothing. Like, if you were trying to advertise My Hero Academia with the grape juice guy. If it wasn't for that commercial, Dorcas would be nobody's favorite character. I think you might be right. That's the power of memes for you. I was about to wag my finger at you for missing, but he pulled it off. He's not even a berserker yet, and I think this is going to be what he does from now on. Okay, well, no crit that time. Jeez, he's almost capped his strength already. Yeah, no dice, flybirds. Okay, good. The sleep has officially worn off. Let's go catch up. This map has lots of reinforcements. Tell me about it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that Western Isles map from Fire Emblem 6. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, one of those maps, when you go that route... No, wait, you always have to go that route. Never mind. But one of those maps has, like, absolutely endless reinforcements coming in, like bandits from a mountain cave or something like that. I forget, but I remember there was one playthrough I had of that game. I was cheating. I was like giving everyone maxed out movement ranges and trying to save all the houses in a timely fashion. And I decided, you know what, I'll just sit here and grind for levels a little bit. And then the bandits just wouldn't stop coming. I swear I ended up with like like a bajillion. From one corner of the map to the other. It was outrageous. But I think we're just about done. As soon as I bust through that gate. Sure, let's see how this works. I'll tell you another idea I had for this ROM hack that I didn't really take too seriously, but I was half considering swapping the roles of, like, Naomi and Tethys. Because I remember seeing in, like, documents about the, yes, that's fine. Thanks, Automod. Hey, whoa, I didn't mean to add that as a permitted term. I just wanted to allow that message to go through. Okay, Twitch, your moderation tools need a bit of extra work. Word filters, what can you do? You are right about that, though. Fire Emblem absolutely does have a bandit fetish. They just swarm the early game, and honestly, I'm surprised that I'm seeing so many of them here in the mid game too. Can I get a quick kill for Vanessa? It's not likely, but never mind. Clara Shell used to have Tana's head in the beta too, I think. Yeah, there's lots of really interesting differences between the prototype ROM and what we have now. So, you know, Naomi as a dancer character looked really unique. Had like that giant hoop earring and like a fancy headband. Well, I guess she still has the headband, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Lance Reaver ain't gonna save you. Alright, well, we're just moving right along. This is actually quite a bit faster than I usually finish this map. You might have noticed something funny happening with Gilliam here. I gave him the Wary Fighter skill, so he no longer has to worry. Oh, Jesus! He no longer has to worry about getting double attacked, but I almost let Vanessa die. I was so happy about making such swift progress on this map that I just completely forgot about those siege weapons up there. Okay, duly noted. I'm gonna keep Arthur out of range as well. Because he is at risk of getting a critical hit landing on him, and that would not be good. Shoot. How should I proceed here? I guess I'll have Ross take down the bandit. It's kind of my only option, actually. Alright, Franz, I guess you're just gonna sit there on that forest and just keep doing what you do best. Alright, everyone else should probably stay back for this one. Oh, right, I also increased the dancer's movement range. I always thought that Tethys was one of the least effective dancers in the entire franchise. So I figured the least I could do was let her move a little bit farther. Oh, I also gave her that. It's like if you can't bestow a stat buff or do multiple refreshes in one turn, then you might... What is that bandit doing? He's just trying to leave. Yeah, the way I usually play this game, I actually sit here and wait out the siege weapons. Not this time, I'm taking them out. If you're using the latest builder skill system, the item ability section in item editor should have doubles triangle and inverts triangle as separate effects. Unlike in vanilla where it's one effect for reverse, so try using that instead of triangle adept. I have updated the FE builder software, but... Oh! Well, there it is. Yeah, that wasn't there before. That was not there before, I swear. Okay, yeah, I'll just go and do that then. Oh, you two can have the support conversation now. Well, you know what? Why not? Seth? What brings you, Princess? How fare you, Seth? Ever since the castle fell, you have been protecting me, despite your own injuries. Would that I could have served you better, my lady. You were not meant to see such things. But my wound is closed up, and it does not affect my lance arm. Wait, show it to me. Look, the wound has closed, but it is not yet fully healed. What made you think of this, my lady? Your fighting is as superb as ever, Seth, but when you raise your lance, I see a flicker of pain on your face, as if you were merely enduring it. But it only lasts a moment. Perhaps it's all just my imagination. Your Highness, please put your mind at ease. My wound has healed. There is no need to worry. I would that were so, Seth. Please, do not overextend yourself. I beg this of you. Without you, I may not be able to continue this quest. You praise me too much, my lady. Alright, there is an arena in town, and I'm not sure how much I want to use it. I'm not even sure if I can... Nope. I have no money. So, never mind that. So what do the villagers have to say? I've heard that Prince Innes of Frelia is a fantastic tactician. Grado took Renee with no trouble, but Frelia still has yet to fall. They say it's because Prince Innes has spies reporting every move the Empire makes. At the same time, all enemy spies in Frelia are exposed and executed swiftly. That means that none of Frelia's secrets are ever reported back to the Empire. I've never met Prince Innes, but he doesn't sound like a man you'd want as an enemy. She's right, without him the run would be over. Certainly the way that I'm playing it. Yes. Yeah, I would not have been able to get to the prince in time if I didn't have Seth to carry me. Elder Pablo used his fortune to build his own private army. Now that he's using it to wrest control of Carcino from the Council's hands, please help Lord Klimt so that he can help us. I can't read. Is anyone in particular danger? Natasha, maybe. Nah, she'll be fine. Really? You're going for him? Alright, well, nice knowing you, buddy. I'm gonna give Seth this kill so that he can just attack and move out of the way. It's acceptable, I guess. No, didn't mean to... Okay, now I have to finagle with my items real quick. Finally got that longbow. Real question is, who's going to take down the boss? I honestly wonder if Marissa would be able to pull it off. He is pretty fast, and he's gonna get faster. So, let's see. Oh yeah, Pablo is a lightning machine. Maybe I should put Joshua up against him first. Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet. No one can withstand the might of Grado. Logic dictates that we join now or be subjugated later. I made the rational decision. The only decision. I should have turned animations on for this. There we go. Boy, I hate to say it, but this chapter carried on quite a bit longer than I expected. So I think I'm going to do Ephraim's next chapter, and then I'm going to be done for the night. Because these missions are getting long. Alright, let's see what you got. Ooh! That's pretty painful. Is that a Pablo Escobar reference? I don't know. I have no idea where this guy got his name. Should I give him the kill? You know what? If you can land the shots, then go for it. Ah! You're Prince Innes! You're one of Carcino's councilmen. Trying to trap me is a mistake, failing an expensive one. I think it's time for you to learn how expensive. Oh! Didn't quite pull it off. Pablo is a fairly common Hispanic name. Yeah, it's probably not a direct reference to anything in particular. Well, how about Irica? She can always use a little bit of extra EXP. Okay, Blimp Fruit. Is this a thing that was added by skill systems? This guaranteed critical animation when killing a boss? Because I have no idea where this came from. And it's been kind of puzzling me. I don't mind it, I think it's cool, but I'd like to know where it came from. I cannot die when there is such wealth to be had! Retreat! Mercenaries, to me! Yes, that is where it came from. Alright, cool. Yeah, skill systems is like a complete game overhaul. I almost wonder if it should change its name. Just call it Fire Emblem Plus or something. Okay, theoretically, you could just waste, like, 99 turns just dancing with Tethys to get her level up, but I'm not going to do that. I'll wait until I've got a chance to level grind off-stream, and then I'll just dedicate time to that. I really wish there was a better way for dancers to get their experience up. You know what, maybe I should just see if I can increase that experience value myself. Meanwhile... I found you, Irica! Since you're as skilled as reports say, this is going to be fun. Yes, 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 I do so love strong women. Shall we attack General Volter? No, we'll pass on dessert for now. Allow them to escape. We're leaving. I have no idea why he chose to do that. It has never made sense. Her dancing with titties. Dang it, I wish you weren't right about that, but yes, her name does kind of resemble that word. It's called Flashy Mode in the patches. Oh, I see. Prince Innes, are you well? Irica, I'm sorry for troubling you. No, it was no trouble. Oh, Prince Innes, thank goodness you're unharmed! Who are you? Oh, where are my manners? I'm a member of Carcino's Council of Elders. My name is Klimt. A council member? So you're one of the traitors who ordered... Peace, please! I have no intention of opposing you or quarreling with you. I too have been marked for death by Pablo. What is this all about? It's a shameful tale. Carcino is a nation divided. As you know, Carcino has no king but is ruled by a council. But now the council is broken apart into factions mired in discord. Factions? You're saying that the whole of Carcino has not betrayed Frelia? Correct. The moderate factions prefer to preserve our alliance with Frelia. Pablo's faction wishes to endear us to Grado, to surrender us to their armies. Once Pablo realized he couldn't ply us with bribes, he'd begun to have us assassinated. Those of us who remain have taken refuge underground. We oppose him where we can. If you hadn't showed up, I'm not certain I would still be breathing. I do recall enemy troops combing this area when I arrived. They were searching for you, is that it? Pablo has usurped rule of the council. We had no choice but to hide. Not all of Carcino's has gone over to Grado's side, though. You must believe me, the whole of Carcino does not believe as Pablo does. I see. Lord Klimt, I understand the hardships you've endured. I am pleased to hear that not all of Carcino is our foe. I will depart at once to Frelia to explain our circumstances to the king. I think it is best if you return to Frelia as well. Pablo has considerable wealth, and he commands a vast mercenary force. I'm sure he'll send more of them this way as soon as he is able. Prince Innes, Tethys and I are gonna stay with you. Is that gonna work? Yes, I would appreciate the help. Starting now, you've got a new contract, though. The pay's double. If the two of you hadn't stayed with me back there, I would not have survived. Garrick, Tethys, thank you. You have my gratitude. Tell me something, Prince. Did you get hit on the head during that last skirmish? That's unkind. My neck is not so stiff that I cannot show gratitude. I would ask for your continued support in the days ahead. This old man doing damage control really hard. Yeah, I'm imagining him, like, bowing and scraping before the prince here. We both ask for your help. We've got a deal. Let's keep each other alive. Ah, there you are, sister. Iwan, how is it? What are you doing here? I told you to wait in the inn and behave yourself, didn't I? Oh, I thought you said go with Innes, not go to the inn. You always run off to disappear. It's not fair. I want to have adventures too. You are such an imp. I'm not out here running about having fun, you know. I know. That's why I came to see you. I can help. My teacher finally got around to teaching me some magic. Check this out. Hey, knock it off. You shouldn't be using magic here. Who's this, Roind? Nope, no. He doesn't have quite that same noble aura about him. Well, I just thought maybe I could help you work is all. I can protect you now, sis. Come on, take me with you. I don't want to stay in that inn anymore. Oh, alright. I'll go and speak to the chief and Princess Irica. Don't wander off while I'm gone. Yahoo! Prince Irica, Prince Innes, I think we should follow the advice we've been given and return to Frelia. Continuing on through Carcino like this is too great a risk to your safety. The peril is self-evident. However, I have to reach Johanna, and the only way is through Carcino. If I don't hurry, nations will fall, one after the other, to Grado's hunger. Innes is right, and the road to Ralston leads me through both Johanna and Carcino. However, pressing on will only invite more mercenary attacks. Hey, I've got an answer! I know a way that leads over the mountains straight to Johanna. Want me to guide you? And who might you be? Iwan, shush! You know better than to interrupt people when they're talking. I'm so sorry. Please let me take my brother out of the way. Come on, Iwan, let's go. No, wait, please. Do you really know a route through the mountains? That's what I said! At the top of that mountain there's a village named Kerpelin. That's where my teacher lives. I'm sure he'll lead you through if you ask him nicely. What is your teacher's name? My teacher? His name is, Sayla. Sayla. I've heard that name on the lips of Frelia's spy network lately. He's a powerful wielder of magic who has been fighting bandits and monsters. The spies mentioned something about a Kerpelin, if I remember. What do you think? If my spies are accurate, this Sayla is someone we can trust. Very well, Iwan. Will you take us to meet your teacher? Are you sure you can do this, Iwan? Not a problem. Alright, everyone, see if you can keep up. Oh, I kind of wish he joined our team at this point. But we have to wait. Alright, with that, I'm not going to waste any time and just go ahead and flip over to the B-side. Iwan guiding them through a monster-infested hell. Well, he doesn't know that. He's just a boy! He doesn't know anything! Let me make sure everyone's prepared on Ephraim's campaign. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty much good to go. So meanwhile, on the other side of the world, a former lance instructor to Ephraim, Grado's General Dussel often came to Rennes as an embassy of his empire. Despite their stations, the two men share similar dispositions and a warm relationship. Why has Grado started this war? What is the miasma of evil emanating from the country? Ephraim believes that Dussel can answer these questions. It is this belief that propels Ephraim forward into Grado territory. I gotta say, I rather much like doing things side by side like this. It's a fun way to play the game. And you don't need hacks for that. Please wait, Prince Ephraim. I have a message from Frelia. There has been an uprising in Carcino. Pablo is leading a force of renegade Grado supporters in the rebellion. In Carcino? Any word of Irica? Is my sister safe? The last word we received had Princess Irica heading to assist Prince Innes. We've not heard from her since. Blast. I sent Irica to Ralston thinking it would be the safest mission. If I could, I'd pull out of here now and go look for her, but... Prince Ephraim... Oh god, we're gonna have to deal with twin Seths. I know. I mustn't let my emotions dictate my actions. If Carcino has allied itself with Grado, then defeating Grado is our best bet. We proceed as planned. Tell them that. Understood. Be careful, Irica. Whoa. Well, that came out of nowhere. What? Was that an earthquake? I think it's passed. Prince Ephraim? I'm fine, there's nothing to worry about. I was surprised, that's all. You're not shaken in the slightest, are you? Actually, it surprised me as well. I'd heard that tremors such as these were commonplace in Grado. Apparently, they are usually weak and cause little if any damage. Maybe you should have done Ephraim first, it sounds like. Don't worry about it. I plan on finishing the game with Irica, so that's why I'm doing it in this order. Irica and I were startled by a tremor just like that one. Ion said he had grown used to them, and he just laughed. We don't have any time to tend to injuries just now. We must press forward. We must see to the capital. Meanwhile... I do not understand. Why this course of action? What is the Emperor thinking? General Dussel? Is that you, Selena? Are you to be assisting me in this duty? Yes. Freilia's army will be coming soon from the north. We're just waiting for the order to engage them. Prince Ephraim leads the enemy forces, doesn't he? That is correct. Prince Ephraim of Renais. Renais is our enemy. General, please give the order to attack. No. I'll order all units to hold. Do not initiate the attack. I want to speak with Ephraim first. So it's true. You plan to betray the Empire and ally yourself with the enemy. What? General Dussel, you stand accused of treason of the highest order. Lay down your weapons and follow my commands. If you fail to do so, if you resist in any way, I will execute you on the spot. This is nonsense! Who is behind this madness? These are His Majesty's orders. The Emperor has anticipated your treachery. Prepare yourself. Impossible. His Majesty? Green! Cormag, you and I will bring that traitor down. Go around that fort to the southeast and drive into them from the sea. We're fighting General Dussel, but he's one of the cornerstones of the Empire. How could... He's been like a father to you and my brother. Do you truly mean to kill him? If that is what my Emperor commands, then yes, without hesitation. Cormag, if you are a true knight of Grado, you will do the same. We go deep into the Imperial schisms. Shoot, there's a better word for that, but I don't know what it is. Here on Ephraim's storyline. Prince Ephraim, the Imperial Grado army is before us. I know, but something's odd. They're chasing someone down. Is that a deserter? Wait, that's Dussel? Prince Ephraim, your orders. We rescue Dussel, ride. Yeah, I'm definitely losing a lot of strength in my voice. I can't convey any sense of urgency whatsoever, but hey, at least on this mission we get to field a folded... Wait. No, we can't. We're still 1 unit short. Oh well, so it goes. Boat. Is this like the only map on the entire, in the entire Game Boy Advance trilogy that has boats? I like them, but they're also kind of annoying to deal with. Alright, well, let's do our best. We're gonna be trying to speed things along so we can go and help Dussel as quickly as possible. I'll take a drink of water before we get started. Oh, it's a survive mission. I had forgotten about that. Alright, let's see here. Got a couple of gem weapons starting off here, but we should be fine. I don't particularly want to put Garcia in the line of fire, but I don't think I have a choice here. He's got 10 speed, he'll be fine. Oops. I don't know why I backtracked like that. Alright, where are the bows? It's gonna be hard maneuvering a Pegasus Knight through all this. You wait up here. Oh, look who came to join the fun. What's this? They've only just begun. What a disappointment. I so wanted to witness the comedy of two generals hacking away at each other. Walter, what do you want? Ah, Selena, you're to return to the capital immediately. Dussel is no longer your concern. His Majesty has declared you untrustworthy. I've been sent to relieve you of command. What? You've proven yourself incapable of dealing with a single old man. I tell you, having to clean up your mess makes things difficult for me, Selena. Now then, Baron. Yes, sir. I'm leaving. I can't leave poor Irica sad and lonely in Carcino. You're in command here for the duration of this conflict. I'll take care of things. What do you think you're doing? I am here at His Majesty's bidding, and... Did you not hear me? His Majesty's bidding has changed. You, Selena, are not to be trusted. These are His Majesty's words. You share the same sentiments as Dussel. You could turn traitor just as he has. You should feel honored. He could have ordered me to kill you where you stand. That's absurd. His Majesty, he knows that I am trustworthy. Then return to the capital and sort it out. Go ask your beloved master whether I speak the truth. What are you going to do, Selena? I will return to the capital. I know better than to trust your word. I will speak with the Emperor myself. Ah, stupid woman. If Greta wins too easily, there'll be no more bloodshed. We must do what we can to extend the fun. I believe it's time for me to return to my darling Irica. It wouldn't do for Glenn to arrive before me, would it? Take care of things here before I return to you. Understood? Of course. Okay, I'm gonna speak frankly here. I think that Baron here on this map has less personality than Denning from Fire Emblem 7. Like, at least with Denning, there was an interesting implication with how he was, like, a cheaply made morph that just spoke like a broken record. Baron is just a throwaway nothing character. No kidding! That's some stout defense you got there, Garcia, my man. Oh boy, I am concerned about Dussel down there, though. Are all of those supposed to be Lance Knights? I have a bad feeling about this. Shoot! I thought I changed you into a Sword Knight. Oh, that's... hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, let me get this straightened out. It's too late to restart the map, I think, but I do want to double-check this. Yeah, I just straight up forgot to turn this into a Sword Knight. My mistake. Alright. That means I need to hurry even faster down to help Dussel. Oh boy, oh boy. Dang it, Ford! You're not fast enough. Someone else take care of things here. Yeah, you, whoever. Just... get... you're too slow too? Gotta be kidding me with this. Alright, fine. I'll have Naomi do the honors. What about loot? She's too far away. Ugh, I need to get this, like, preview map off my screen because it is really distracting. I'm starting to, like, mix up what's in the editor and what I'm actually playing on screen. I'm like, why is there a berserker on this tile right here? It's for a cutscene, of course. Why am I dumb? I don't know. Oh, damn. I didn't realize I got so much EXP for Garcia already. No wonder they're not giving me much as a reward for killing him. You know what? Give it a shot. Ah! Missed. Did I mean to do that? Is Ford gonna be okay here? No, wait, that's Kyle. Well, you know what? They can handle this together. Just maybe not. I don't like these odds. Here's what I'm gonna do. Kyle, you chuck a javelin, and we're gonna hope for the best. Nice! Oh, yeah, so Outrider is the skill that I assigned to Kyle there. To decrease damage taken and also increase his critical hit rate, depending on how far he travels. You've done so well that I'm gonna give you the benefit of a support conversation. I read this on the last stream I did, though, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing over again. Yeah, I got the support conversation between those two, and then I got Ephraim killed. Alright, if I attack with Tana, is she gonna be okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. But at the very least, I can get that village. This area of the ocean is often blanketed in the thick fog. I toiled under it myself for many hard years when I was still sailing. We always made sure we had torches and the like ready. Oh, yes, and there's this. This torch staff shines just as bright as any normal torch. Of course, if nobody you know can use it, it's just so much extra baggage. Will you take it? Oh, go ahead. I'm planning on resting my old bones here for good. My sailing days are done. Well, sure, I'll take you up on that. Cormag, you hold your horses. Tell me, brother, what should I do? We are about to have ourselves a blockade right here. They didn't attack with the axe fighters? Really? Well, they're lost. Oh, God, I feel like a right proper chump for forgetting to change the class of that one Mountie over there. I wonder, do I have even the slightest chance of taking out one of these things from where I'm standing? Not with Tana. Maybe I can lure it a little bit closer to shore and try to deal with it that way. Please tell me you can double attack at least one of them. Thank you! Jeez. That Iron Blade is not friendly to him. Okay, I'm in the clear. I can get this taken care. Really? Loot's not fast enough? Hang on a minute. She's got 11 speed! Oh my god. This guy has just the right stats to not get double attacked. Ugh. Alright, fine, just do what you can. Today you learned the crows in Resident Evil do a lot more damage than you thought they did. Are you playing Resident Evil right now? Oh shoot, that's a Lance Reaper. Almost. Almost. That is almost a perfect kill. Alright, let's see if the Killer Axe can do it. Nope. Oh well, it was worth a try. You were playing it, and then you died to crows. Yeah, Didn't you warn me about that when I played Resident Evil? It was like, I think I briefly considered that option as a means of getting through the art gallery. And that, of course, was just an awful idea. And I'm glad that you warned me about it. Oh, for goodness sake. Am I really not going to be able to clear out these guys here on this turn? I'm going to be very disappointed if that's so. All I've got left is like javelins. How am I gonna pull this off? Maybe. Oh right, Tana's got the Axe Reaver, but she's too slow. Alright, for goodness sake, one of you has to be able to knock this guy out. Thank you. Ugh. You're trying to beat Resident Evil while also killing every enemy in the game. Oh, well, be careful that the flower doesn't judge you too harshly at the end of the game. Oh, boy. I'm in a very risky position here. In order for this to work out, I'm gonna have to move Tana into the range of that boat over there. I think. Like, no matter how I slice it. Hello, Lenkun, welcome to the chat. What is this hack? This is a personal hack project that I have been working on by myself. This livestream series has basically just been all... Ooh, yes, fight a reverse weapon with another one. Yes! This has been like a live documentation of the making of a Fire Emblem ROMhack from the ground up, using the software FE Builder GBA. So, the way that I'm doing things, this is not that big of an overhaul. Actually, it kind of is growing into one, but I'm not really doing much with, like, the story of the game. It's mostly a mechanical overhaul, and I feel so dumb that I forgot to make this change. You gotta go to bed so you can get at least a few hours of sleep. Yeah, you go and do that. I would never wish to come between you and your early morning work shift. Commander Cormac, I know what I must do. I'm a sworn knight of Grado, and I have a duty to fulfill. Let's start by putting an end to that Fralian army. Move out. Yeah, you have a good night. I'll catch up with you another time. Well, probably tomorrow, because you'll be streaming BioShock, and I very much look forward to that. Follow achinlabs, he's a fun streamer. Honestly, I don't do... This is the first, like, ROMhack project that I have really committed myself to. It's not a regular thing on this channel, but playing ROMhacks, I am a big fan of that. So, I was talking earlier about that Super Mario 64 PC port. I loved taking a look at that. It was a great fan-made effort, and I am personally of the mind that, you know, give the fans a chance, and they will outshine any any major corporation with the amount of passion and effort they can put in. Alright, yeah, I think I got no choice but to just swoop Ephraim in like this. Stop picking on the NPC! He can't defend himself. But yeah, this is, I think this is going to turn out to be one of the only, ROMhack live streams that I do this year. The other one being World of Horror, when Halloween comes around. That game has had new modding tools added to it somewhat recently, and I really want to check those out. So I'll probably do that in the future. But the main thing that I wanted to do with myself this year was to just play a bunch of new things. And I've got, like, a huge list of new games that I want to try that either came out recently or will come out soon enough. Psychonauts 2 being, like, a really, really high contender on that list. Alright, we're almost there. Just gotta inch forward a little bit more. Amelia might be tough enough. Nope, she's not. I guess I'll have to send Amy out to do it. If necessary, I'll just rescue her and pull her back. Let's see. There's definitely other games that I've done that I have archives on my livestream channel. On my livestream archive channel on YouTube, which if you want to catch up on this project and like see how it was conceived from the very beginning, you can go ahead and check that out. The link is just to the bottom of the Twitch video player here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I do have all kinds of archives of things that I've done in the past. A Hat in Time I had a lot of fun with. Like, the game by itself is terrific, but you can go even further beyond by playing fan-made levels, you know, user-made levels, and installing mods of all kinds. I'm honestly having trouble remembering off the top of my head all the things that I've done. Even simple things like retexturing projects are really nice. I love going through those. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, I think I played with, like, upscaled textures of some kind. I can't remember the particulars right now, though. Okay, I think I've got no choice but to just drop Ephraim off here and hope for the best. Because I've got, like, no one else that can get close enough to help over here. Ugh, Amy in particular. I am super worried for her. Let's try pulling her back a little bit. Kyle, if you get a crit here... Oh. I would have loved it if you could. There's definitely more that I'm forgetting. Like, 2021 was for me, like, the unofficial year of the ROMhack. Oops. Okay, this should work. I'm nervous about how this turn is gonna go. Oh dear. I should have changed her weapon. Ugh. Everyone's taking a beating, all in the name of speed. Oh yeah, that reminds me, Donkey Kong Country 2 was another game whose hack project I played. It wasn't much. Again, even the little things I appreciate. The Donkey Kong Country 2 hack that I played was just it had some alternate palettes. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Oh jeez. She's so slow that the ships can attack her twice. Okay, we need to figure something out fast. ROMhack's all the way over here. These Dragon Knights are looking scary. Oh, I just don't know what to do. Dusel, help me out here. Is that you, Prince Ephraim? Why were those great old men after you? What's going on? Wait, we can talk later. Let's get you to safety first. Come with us, Dusel. Dusel. I am General Dusel the Obsidian of the Imperial Three. This name and my service to His Majesty have been my life's blood. As of this moment, it is all gone. I've no reason to continue. Dusel, enough of this rubbish. You are my mentor. I will not let you die. Prince Ephraim, I know about the Emperor's madness. How will your death serve Grado? Who will it help? What of your country, its people, its future? You will live, Dusel. As a traitor, in disgrace. I know that for a man such as you, this is more agonizing than death. But you will live nonetheless. You will live for something more important. I understand. This old fool's life is yours. Okay, now that the pleasantries are out of the way, please start killing these pirates. I'm losing my mind over here. Dusel, you cannot advance far enough. What am I gonna do? Cormag is a bit of a tough customer, too. Shish. I have to retreat somehow. Alright, Loot, you're way too vulnerable. Back up. Amelia, I'm afraid of sending any further. Maybe I will... Yeah, let's just put her up this way, too. I could try to park Garcia down there on that forest. And he might survive. It's a bit of a gamble, though. Tana definitely has to get the hell out of here. So you will attack once and then fly straight up. Oh, come to think of it, can't Tana talk to Cormag? Did I just blow my best chance at recruiting him? I could have just had her fly over there and talk to him. What's wrong with me? Alright, well, we'll deal with this as best we can. Kyle, Ford... I'm not sure how well you guys can do in this situation, but... we can do this. Now I have a shield gun. No, just a shield. I can get away with putting Calm here. Dragons won't be able to get him. That's good. Okay, you two back up. And we're gonna put our Cavaliers right up there. It's alright. Kyle has been getting really disappointing level ups from me throughout this entire playthrough. Alright. As Samuel Jackson said on Jurassic Park, which we watched on Discord not long ago, hold on to your butts. Oh yeah, I suppose I should have mentioned that to people that are watching. I do moderate in a Discord server run by Hollow Bastion, who was in the chat until a few minutes ago. And when we're not live streaming, we have been taking to showing various, various shows and films every weeknight. And it has been quite fun. Discord mod? I don't know what's so funny about that. Oh jeez, oh jeez. Tell me you don't have a strong weapon. I didn't expect him to take that much damage. Oh! Please don't get a second hit. Ah! This is getting hairy. But anyway, yeah, I was gonna say, if you guys are interested in joining this Discord server and just, you know, watching stuff with us every weeknight, like, for example, we hopped on the bandwagon, we saw the popularity of Spy X Family, and we've been thoroughly enjoying it ever since we started watching it. So every 2 weeks, we've been showing that on Tuesday nights. And Hollow himself takes to showing various films on Fridays, mostly horror films. He's actually got... Ah! You could have dodged one of those and it would have been fine! Oh my god. Okay, that's just embarrassing. I hate to say it, but it's getting pretty late. I do not feel like starting that entire chapter over again, so I might just cut it off here and make like a save state off stream. Well, not a save state, but just a saved game. And we'll get back to that. Oh hey, are these, yeah, he died to a hand axe. I feel awful about that. Every single pirate came after him. And he couldn't dodge a single one of those. Ugh. You know what I should have done? I should have given the Axe Reaver to Ephraim. I think I'll do that. I think I will do that next time. It's a funny thing. A lot of people who play the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems will restart when a single unit dies. For me, that single unit, each and every time, has been either Irika or Ephraim. Well, anyway, that is going to be it for me for the time being. I will resume showing this stream series on, let me check the schedule, Saturday night. That's when I will be back. I have been doing these, you know, once or twice a week. I do hope to finish before the month is over, which now that I look at it, is not going to happen, because the month ends next week. So I guess we're going to be continuing this all the way through June. We'll see how it goes. If only you could bench the Lord. I know plenty of people who played Fire Emblem 6. Really wish they could have done that. There's Dozla! Look at he go! It's like one of the only new animations that I put in the class reel. But yeah, I have been streaming really late into the night lately, and I need to work on, like, winding my schedule back an hour or two. Because I'm going to be moving to Georgia next month, and going backwards in time... Wait, no, forwards in time. I'm going to be, like... Current time right now in Georgia is 12:15 a.m., so... I'm going to be a bit messed up if I keep going at the rate that I am with the sleep schedule that I have. Like, Cormag nearly cooked my goose during that encounter. I'm surprised it wasn't him that caused me to restart. Ooh, there's the Phantom. And I need to update that stupid... I meant to put the melee animation on there. So yeah, the list of changes that I need to make seems never-ending, but we'll get through this project someday. It's 6 a.m. where Len-kun is. Where in the world is that? Is that like... Are you watching from Europe, I wonder? Wouldn't be the first time. I think I've had a viewer from Germany before. Maybe the UK. At least one from Australia. Which I imagine it's the exact opposite time right now in Australia. You're French. Ah, cool! Cool. Well, gosh, if only he'd come in a little bit sooner. My friend Hollow Bastion is, like, nuts about learning French right now, and he wants to travel to France someday. Germany for me. We might end up just having a whole tour of Europe together someday. That would be swell. I'm never sure how long this class rail is, but I think we've seen everything new that I put in, so eventually it's just going to loop back around to the gargoyle, so I'm going to go ahead and go now. Thank you guys for joining me, it's been a delight. If you guys have any questions about this FE Builder GBA stuff, you can track me down on Discord if you'd like, or send me a private message and I'll see if I can help out a little bit. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go. You guys have a lovely morning, evening, wherever you are, and I'll be back next week. So, have a good night and stay cool. See you next time.